y'all? Welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time, welcome to my channel. My name is KIARA, and today I'm going to be talking all about my experience getting a master's degree at the University of Southern California. I got my master's in digital media management from the #1 school in communications and journalism in the country. University of Southern California is a great school. It has a huge network, and I'm so proud to be a Trojan. And over this time of me going to school, I've gotten a few questions, and I wanted to wait until I was officially done with my program to sit down and provide you all with the questions. And also, if you stick to the end of this video, I do have a vlog showing you what it was like to be an online student attending USC. I don't really like long intros. I got everything that I need on my notes on my iPad, so we're just gonna go right into it. First things first is take the information that I'm giving you, but also head over to USC's website, check out the program. I linked it down below in the description bar. Read, get the information for yourself because things are always changing. So I can speak about my experience and how the program was ran when I was in it, but they're always evolving, they're always changing things. So always, y'all, go and double check on the website to see the rules, the instructions, the qualifications, and everything. I'm just going to be speaking about my experience from going there. And also, if you do decide to apply, when I applied on the application, there was a section to put how you heard about the program. I would really appreciate it if you could choose other and just put YouTube semicolon KIARA BRK in there so that they know that I sent you. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. Okay, let's get into the facts. So I graduated officially in August of 2025 with my Master's of Science in Digital Media Management. Hello, thank you very much. Yes, super proud. And I completed the program in a year and a half. I walked though. I had to do the walk and participate in graduation in the spring because USC only has one graduation a year. So I had to walk. I was still in classes. It was super annoying, but whatever, we got it done. And so I started off on the 1-year track. So they have 2 different tracks. You can do 1 year or 2 years. So if you're in the 1-year track, you'll get your degree in 1 year. It is an accelerated program, so everything's going pretty fast. And you take 2 classes at a time. They're 8 weeks long. And we met on Zoom for each class once a week for about 90 minutes. So that's the 1-year track, and then the 2-year track is where you're taking 1 class at a time, and it'll take you 2 years to finish the program. And so I do have a video on kind of going into depth on why I went back to school, so I do encourage you to go look at that. I'll link it here so you can kind of see, but it was not my idea to go back to school. It was completely a God idea. However, the program, when I was doing research, I saw that it was really great for entrepreneurs as well as those people who want to climb the corporate ladder. If you're a creator, if you're an influencer, like all the things that I am aspiring to be in the roles that I'm in now, that's where that came from. I graduated with my Bachelor's of Arts in Journalism in 2017. 7 years since I've been in school. So when I started the program, I initially did the 1-year track, and that was taking 2 classes at once. My first week, I was a bit overwhelmed. I was a bit intimidated because, like I said, it's been 7 years since I've been in college. Never pursued a master's degree, didn't even want to do it. I was intimidated, so I decided to drop a class. So you are able to switch in between tracks each semester. I believe, you know, every college has their rules on how many weeks go by, whether you get like a withdrawal or a fail or whatever. But it was the first week I was able to scale back. I let my advisor know, hey, baby, no ma'am, let me go back to the 2-year track. So I'm taking 1 class at a time because it was just too much. So I had to do that the whole semester. So for the first semester, summer, I was doing 1 class at a time. And so I kind of got the hang of it. Like I said, it was 8 weeks, and I started to feel like, okay, I think I could double up. And so for fall and spring, I was on the 1-year track. So I was taking 2 classes at a time. And so that's kind of where things sped up. Before I kind of get into the workload of everything, I want to just talk about the application process and just give you any tips that I have. The application process, in my opinion, was fairly easy. It was very straightforward. They don't require a GRE. Of course, you have to write a statement of purpose, which they give you all the instructions for. When I was considering going back to school, I got a LinkedIn ad for USC. And so I began to look into the program and things like that. So February is kind of when I started. I applied, and then classes started early May. Okay, so I went online and I filled out the interest form and I put my information, and I had an admissions advisor contact me. And so I had her on the phone and I was asking all types of questions. And this is something that I suggest everyone do. Before I fill out application, before I pay the fee, I'm asking her all types of questions. I had asked her what your GPA has to be. She let me know that if your application is strong, then they're willing to accept those who have a lower GPA. So I think I graduated with like a 2.9, okay, overall GPA in undergrad. So that was my GPA going in. I got accepted. Thank you very much. So she just really stressed to me the importance of following the instructions on the application. Whatever the statement of purpose is, whatever the prompt is, just write about that. Don't try to add anything else. So the application consisted of a statement of purpose, which was not super long at all. They had a prompt on things that they wanted you to write about, and it focused on really telling your story. So they want to hear from you. They really want you to bring who you are to the program. So be as honest as possible, be as professional as possible, be as academic as possible, but follow whatever the prompt is, follow the prompt. So at the time of me applying, that's what I did. I followed the prompt. And she also encouraged me to submit my work. So I also had to submit like a sample, like a writing sample, just something creative. They did give me like a few examples. So I decided to submit a blog post that I wrote. I needed some letters of recommendation. So I ensured that I had, I believe it was like, I think I needed 2 letters of recommendation. You could do more, but I believe the requirement was 2. So I submitted 2 strong letters of recommendation, as well with like my transcripts and all of that. So that's what I did. And then they also had like a application workshop that was on Zoom, you know, and so I made sure I went, and I made sure that they took attendance, they seen my name, and got all the information. They explained the application process. So it was very straightforward. You just have to follow the instructions and do it. So it's very straightforward. And the application advisor, you know, let me know that they accept all different types of people into the program. Like, that's what she just kept saying. Like, I was so nervous. I'm asking her all these questions, but like, what about this? What about this? What about that? She was like, we accept all different types of people. Like, this is all you need to do. So she was there to help me and really simplify the process for me. And then another thing that I did was, before I submitted the application, I sent her everything. I sent her my statement of purpose. I sent her my application. I sent her my transcripts. I sent her my letters of recommendation, like everything that was needed for the application. I sent it to her via email, because we've been communicating. You know, we talked on the phone, we've been communicating via email, and she just looked it over. Of course, she can't tell me like you're gonna get in or not, but she was like, you've met the requirements for everything that is needed to apply. So that just let me know, like, okay, I have everything, I'm not missing anything, so let me go ahead and submit. The application fee was $90, and I had my 2 best friends. They went half with me and sent me the money so I could apply, because I was like, what if I don't get in? And of course you have that fear, right? Only way to know is to try. And that's literally, my friend was like, well, the only way to know is to try. Because I'm just like, okay, whatever. So I applied. And after I applied, I had someone from the admissions team just reach out and let me know that my application is complete. Like, I had everything that they needed. And I believe some time went by, and I was notified first via email. They sent me a letter telling me, congratulating me that I got into the program. And then later on, they mailed something to me, and then they also mailed me like a tumbler cup, and I think it had like a little card in there, just, you know, welcoming me to the Trojan family. So that was my admissions process. And like I said, I believe I started it, let me see. I started looking and seeking in February, and then I believe I had applied in March, and I believe by April they let me know that I was in, and then I started classes early May. So just to recap, go back over the tips. Reach out to a admissions advisor, fill out the interest form. Someone's gonna contact you, get on the phone with them, ask them all questions. I mean, all the questions you want, ask them, listen to what they're saying, attend the application workshop, so you can also hear from the admissions what you need. They can see your face, they can see your name, all these different things. And if your application advisor is willing to look over your application before you submit it, I would have them look over it first before you submit, and then submit, and then just trust God. But I would say that from my experience, it was intimidating at first, like applying, but once you got in and like I heard what people were saying as far as, you know, we're really looking for like people to tell their story. We're looking for all types of people. We're not like it's not like this rigid thing. You know, of course there's requirements, but we're looking for all types of people. And there were all types of people in my program. There were other influencers. There were people who worked for other companies. There are people who even worked for like the pharmaceutical companies, but they do like apps and different things like that. Like, it was a wide range of people in this program. So this is a digital media program. So we touched on social media a little bit, but social media is a part of digital media. So we learned about the whole digital media landscape, which was something eye-opening for me because I'm just social media heavy. They do have a social media master's program. I did not do that because it was in person. I live about an hour and a half from USC, so that was not going to work. And you also needed a GRE to get in. So I just was like, nah, I ain't doing that. But I'm sure that program is great. The other question that I got was like, how did I afford it? Baby, I can't afford it. So I took out student loans. So the thing is, when you do the 1-year track, you'll get done sooner, right? You get done within a year. However, the loans that USC offers you is not enough to cover it. So you're gonna have to take out a Grad Plus loan each semester to help cover the funds, unless you have that kind of money. I believe the program was like around $50K, somewhere around there. So it is an expensive program. If you do the 2-year track, you can just take out USC's loans. You don't have to get additional loans, and that should be enough for the program. I didn't have to buy any books. Everything was online, everything was digital, and yeah, I don't think I really have to buy like anything outside of paying for the tuition and all that. I didn't have to buy like any books or anything like that. And so they do have scholarships and other things like that. That's not something that I really looked into that much, but I do encourage you to do that. The price point definitely intimidated me a whole lot because I already have student loans from undergrad, and I'm like, ooh, this is a lot compared to other programs. But one thing you have to understand is, for one, like I said in the beginning of this video, USC is the #1 school for communications and journalism in the nation. Okay, like when I went on campus, because I live an hour and a half away, so I was able to go on campus. That's another thing too. You do get access the same as an online student. You get the same access as if you were going in person. So if you are within driving distance to USC, even if you're not, I do recommend that you take a trip and just get the vibe, girl, because that was a whole different experience. Like, I'm like, this would have been a dream going here in undergrad. Like, USC has always been my dream school. When I was in high school, that's where I wanted to go. And I just did not have the grades to even do that. So I just completely, you know, tossed that out of my mind. But to get a master's from there is great. And just experience the on-campus life is great too. I'm gonna get to that though, because I don't want to jump ahead. But anyways, they have state-of-the-art equipment, and the professors are not your typical professors. Some of them are, but a lot of them are industry experts. There are people who are in the industry right now doing the very thing and successful at the very thing that they're teaching you. So you're learning things not that worked years ago, like you're learning things that people are implementing now. And that's something that you really cannot get at a lot of other programs. And as well as just being a part of the Trojan Network, I say this, I really believe you're paying for the name, because to be a Trojan, people take that heavily. And every job that I've looked at on LinkedIn, I always see, oh, 5 people from USC work here, 6 people from USC work here. The network is huge, they're everywhere, and people are successful. And when you're like, oh, I'm a Trojan, people just gonna look out for you, you know? So you're also paying to be a part of a huge and amazing network full of people who have connections. I've been in class where a professor has had someone like, oh, this is the CEO of this major brand company calling me. Like, huh? Or, oh, I'm gonna get you connected with someone at Netflix. Like, what? Like, it's just nothing. These people are well connected. So you're also paying for that. So keep that in mind as well, because yes, the price point for someone who just does not have $50K to drop on a master's degree, or if you don't want to get any more loans, you know, that's someone's yearly salary, especially when there's others master programs that you can go and, you know, go for half the price. But is that network like that? Are you learning from industry experts? And just the name itself holds a lot of weight. So also just keep that in mind. Let's talk about the workload. So the workload pretty much was the same throughout the whole program. You're gonna have an assignment due every single week. And I was told the reason for that is they want us to get used to having deliverables and producing excellent work in a short amount of time. So you're gonna have an assignment due every week, Sunday, 11:59 p.m. You're going to have a discussion post every week. You're gonna have to reply to 2 people under the discussion post, and then you're gonna have class, and you're gonna have a participation post where you discuss what you've learned in class. So they have word minimums for that. Each professor is different. Like I said, y'all, this was when I was going. Follow whatever the rules are that your professor is offering you. The program director at the time was Professor Itaya, and he was amazing. And he also let us know that he also read all of our applications, was also one of the people to decide whether or not we got into the program or not. So that meant a lot, as well as just seeing how involved the program director is in the program. And one thing that he did share with us in the very beginning is that treat each of your professors as if they're clients. Each client has their own style, has their own what they want. So you have to kind of adjust. And like I said, it's 8 weeks. So you're in class for 8 weeks. You have 7 sessions. On the 8th week, you don't have class, but you turn in your final, and then you have the rest of that week off, and then you're starting classes again. I mean, back to back, baby. Over the winter, I think we got like a week off, or maybe 2 weeks off during Christmas, but that was it. So I was in class nonstop for a year and a half. It's an accelerated program. I'm doing assignments every week. I'm adjusting to new professors. I've had some of the professors like twice, you know, so I didn't have new professors each time. But I believe I took like, how many classes did I take? Was it 24? I think I took, did I take 24 classes? I think it was 24 classes. I'm not sure. But it's a lot. The workload, especially if you're on the 1-year track, you're doubling up on classes. It is a lot. However, it's doable because I did it. I'm a wife. I do work. I pretty much work for myself, and I work from home, and I have a lot of flexibility over my schedule. But I did go to class with people who had, 9 to 5s. And so the classes were offered at either 5 o'clock or 6:30. So it was like 5 to 6:30, or you could have class 6:30 to 8 o'clock. Those were the times that the classes were offered. I had people in class that lived in other countries, people on the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, like I said, all over. The classes were based though in Pacific Standard Time. So if you have class at like 8 p.m., if you have class at 5 p.m., the West Coast is like 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Me and my husband did end up moving during my last 2 weeks of class, so I was on the East Coast, so I was in class like pretty late. But yeah, I would say they're very flexible. All the professors that I had were pretty understanding. It was just one professor who I did not like, did not care for. I had him towards the end of the program. Luckily, I just had him once. I didn't have to take him again, but it's just one. All the other ones, love them. Like I said, they're industry experts. Connected with all of them on LinkedIn. That's something that I do suggest that you do immediately, is start connecting with people on LinkedIn, especially who are in the Trojan Network, just so you can build your network up. And yeah, so that's what I would say about the workload. Assignments could be anything. It was a lot of like presentations, some papers, some projects, some videos, things like that. Some professors really wanted you to focus a lot on research and providing quotes. Some professors really cared about deliverables and your content, making your point. It really just depends. Each professor is different, but you can do it. That's my whole point, is you can do it. It's people in the program who had children, different things like that. So if you do get in a class and it does not work for you, You can email your advisor, and depending on what your reason is and if they have the availability in the other classes to switch you, they will. That has happened to me a few times. You cannot just switch because you want a specific type of professor. Like, that's something you can't do. But I definitely have my faves, and I had one who I was just like, ooh, girl, cannot stand, do not like at all. At the end of every class, you do get to do like a class evaluation. You get to also evaluate the professor. So I would encourage you to do that and be honest. Be honest. Thank you. One of the main goals of the DMM program, and it's the very last class that you take, is a capstone. So they want you to walk away with a program, with a digital initiative, something that you can take into your field of work. Whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you work for a brand or something, they want you to be able to take something from this program and actually use it. And so for me, one of the things that I did was I created a digital handbook about my $500 wedding. For those of you who do not know, I went viral. Me and my husband went viral in 2022 for our $500 wedding and my $47 wedding dress. And I turned all of that information into a digital handbook that gives you links and resources so that you can have a cheap and affordable, but nice and luxurious wedding as well. So if that is something that you are interested in, it is linked in the description box. I just released it, so it is on sale for just $14.99. So you can go and get that. It has, like I said, clickable links, anything like that. It's the perfect gift for any future bride that you may know, or if you are a bride yourself or not a bride yet, but you want to be. It's the perfect gift, and it's literally under $15. So go get that. And that was something that I would not have been able to have the accountability or even just the knowledge to create without the program. I know some other people created apps, they created presentations, websites, podcasts, people create proposals. It's just so many things. And so that's one of the things that I also loved about the program, is that I went through it and I came out of it with something tangible that I can take with me that is also able to build income. So if you are interested in that, click the link in the description. You can also scan this QR code if you want, if you're watching me on TV, to be able to purchase my digital handbook. But if there's something that you want to do, or even if you don't know what you want to do, because I know when I started the program, I didn't necessarily know what I wanted my capstone project to be. There's also people, like I said, who do podcasts, or you can make short series on things, or if you're a YouTuber, come up with like a new segment for your channel. Like, there's so many things that you can do. And yeah, that is just something as well that I just wanted to mention about the program. I'm gonna get into how it helped me. So this program literally changed my life. It has helped me to really establish myself in the digital landscape, in social media, in the influencer landscape as a lifestyle influencer, and really honing in on that and just teaching me different things, even things that I'm able to use, because I do have a digital media agency as well that I did launch while I was in the program fairly early on. Even the tools and the things that I've learned in the program have helped me in helping my clients' social media channels, digital media platforms grow, including my own brand. And like I said, I'm an entrepreneur. I do not work for anyone as of now. This program has really helped, and it has changed my life just from the information that I've learned and all of the tools and the platforms and the different things. So it's a lot of information coming at you fast, and sometimes I didn't even feel like, not to say I didn't feel like I was learning, but it was so quick that I didn't have like time to like process what I was learning. But I knew I was learning things, because when I would have conversations with people about different things on digital media or social media or just anything, new ideas and these new ways of thinking would come up in conversation. So that's how I know like I've learned. But it's fast paced. Okay, so if you want a degree and you want it fast and you want it online, I would say do it, but just know that it is fast paced. But you can do it, because I did, and so many other Trojans did. Lastly, I'm going to talk about my experience of, just being an online student. And as an online student, you get access to the campus. And so because I was an hour and a half away, I did attend like all the sports things that I wanted to attend. I attended like basketball games, I attended football games, homecoming. I even joined an on-campus organization. It was called USC Reach. It was for those who want to be content creators and influencers. We went to FanFix headquarters and, met with their team and got a tour of everything. Just different opportunities. I was even able to do a social media campaign and got paid, a paid campaign with Nomo, and just different opportunities that they had within the organization, working with other brands, doing influencer work, learning, meeting people, meeting organizations, going and touring companies and things like that. That's something that I did, and so if you're into that, I definitely think you should look into USC Reach. It was some grad students in there, but it was like mostly undergrad. And because I'm a little older, like I said, 7 years passed. I graduated when I was like, what, 24? I did the program, I was 30. So I felt at sometimes like a little older, especially like when I went to the football games and stuff and I sat in the student section. I was like, no. Went to another football game and just bought regular tickets. So just little things like that. But I got a tour. I feel like I've exercised my privilege as a USC student fairly well for being online and not being on campus, but I did go to like some of the events. And if you stick around and watch the vlog, you'll see that. I hope that this video helped. If you're contemplating the program, get on a call, talk to a advisor, and really get the 411. But that was my experience in the program. If you have any more questions that I did not address in this video, please leave them below. I would love to answer them to the best of my ability. And yeah, stick around to watch the vlog to just kind of really see what it was like as my experience as an online student going to USC.